So when you look inside yourself, you know, the thing that's stopping you from being loved is the wounded child inside you. The sum total of your conditioning and the conditioned love that was placed upon you as like a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year old. And it's not the same for all people, but for a lot of people, their life, the love inside them and their true self-expression is that flow is cut off when you're conditioned. And it's that 8-year-old, 9, 10-year-old kid who wants to be loved and looks to an elder, their parents, or siblings, and that love is conditioned. I will love you if you do X, Y, Z. I will love you if you're successful, but until you're successful, in my eyes, you don't deserve my full love. And that's conditioning. Is, you need to do this. So we as young children, we need love to survive. And if we think that love is, getting a job, if we're brought up believing that we will get love if we do X, Y, Z, get a job, be stable, be successful, and then we'll go back to our parents and go, look at us now, we're successful. Now will you love us? And that that thought process over a long period of time separates you from your truest self and your truest expression, because you're not following what's inside you. You're following what you think, because you weren't taught properly. So you're going to be taught to follow what is told to you and not what's inside you. And when you get to a certain point, you look back in and the evolved part of you can love the neglected child, can love the conditioned child inside you, because you know that you were in that scenario when you were 8 and 9. If you close your eyes and you quiet your mind enough, you can picture yourself as that 10-year-old kid who only just wants to be accepted and loved and cared for, and in fact, the complete opposite happened, and the love in your life was conditioned on certain external factors, and you never really learned how to fully love and express yourself. And when you are able to see that objectively, you can give that love that child needs to that child. By loving that child, that neglected, hurt, lonely, embarrassed, neglected, you can go on and on, fearful, but when you can love that part of you and you don't turn a blind eye to it, you can become love in an expression. Because if you never acknowledge that hurt and that you chased that when you were younger, then you're always going to be looking somewhere else to heal. And we need to heal before we can go forward. We need to heal that part inside us that was conditioned and wasn't properly loved, and we need to give ourselves that love. And love is just another word for a feeling, an intense just pleasure and joy and weightlessness, and there's no root in your stomach that's filled with anxiety, and it's bliss. It's happiness. It's everything we search for. When we're there, we don't need anything else. That's why we want to always get there, because we don't want to always be consuming and grabbing and and everything. And we want to be content, basically. Who doesn't want to be content with where they are and what they're doing? And if you're running away from that 10-year-old wounded child, then you're not going to be content. But if we're able to, love that 10-year-old, 11, 12-year-old neglected child and learn how to give it the love the other half of us and give it a nice big hug, give him or her a nice big hug, then we can heal our wounds inside of us. And everyone has their own wounds. It's not like at some point in everyone's life it's completely perfect. It's not. I mean, whether it's a death in the family, it's conditioned love, it's abuse, it's just no parents aren't even around. I mean, there's so many different ways to grow up and still feel unworthy that we all know that feeling at some point. And you'd be lying to yourself if you said you weren't searching inside you for that other half of you that is not that wounded child, that is love. And I mean, that wounded child was all that child wanted was love and attention and the most basic things in the world. And it was conditioned to think that you need to do X, Y, Z in order to be loved. And you need to go get a good degree, and you can't, and if you express yourself in a weird way, then you're weird and you're an outcast and you're socially awkward. And once you fully express yourself, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because who cares? You're content. Like, as long as you're not content, you're always going to be searching for contentness. And content's just a peaceful feeling of I am where I am and I'm doing what I want to be doing. And I'm not searching in myself for any missing piece, or I'm not trying to heal any wounds that aren't healed. And I'm, doing the things I want with the people I want. I'm content, I'm happy, I'm there. And if you don't, revisit that 10-year-old inside you who is still living there as an entity in your head. It's living in your head as a 10-year-old being, a wounded child that sometimes takes you over. I think that's ego. I mean, it's and if you're able to rise to a different level of awareness, you can love that instead of let it take you over and act out that 10-year-old you, because you've acknowledged and you've healed it, and now you know that it doesn't serve you anymore. And that's how you learn how to love, is by taking that wounded child inside you, taking it, making it real in your head, and loving it, and loving him or her, and giving it in what it wants. And then you express that in your life when you have a child. When you have a child that's 10 years old and gets a hit in baseball, and it's just looking for attention, it's positive. I mean, it's reinforcement. It's I love you no matter what. Like, if you strike out today, like, it's okay. Like, we'll go and get ice cream after the game. Like, life's bigger than just this baseball game. And that was just my learning lesson, was that I was looking for acceptance and love in the game of baseball through my, from my parents. My dad came to every single game, and if I struck out 3 times and I had a bad game, he would feel like he didn't love me. And when I had a good game, I felt like I was loved. So I basically spent my entire life doing that. And that's a fucked way to be living. And obviously suffering is grace on some level, but it doesn't have to be that way. And you can love that 10-year-old no matter what. Hit, no hit, I love you. You are amazing. You're a soul being. You're divine. You're not just this bag of skin, and you're not just Brandon, a baseball player. You're a divine creature. I mean, you can be limitless. And maybe baseball isn't your sport. Maybe it is your sport. Do you like playing baseball? Do you want to practice? Or it's not you have to practice. Do you want to practice? Do you want to get better? Do you like that? Or do you want to try something else? You want to figure out what you want. And if we don't let that child express everything in the realm while they're growing up, how are they going to know what they want? Like, how are they going to know that this is something that is all of me, when I'm just forced to do this? When you're forced to do anything, you don't love it. And then you go to school, and then school ingrains in your head things that aren't necessary and clogs you, and you go home to your family and your parents are conditioning love there, and then you have to act good in the classroom in order to get a gold star. I mean, sometimes it's a fucked way to grow up. And when you can kind of step out of that and look objectively back into it, then you'll be able to love that part of you and give that kid a nice big fucking hug and not express anger or hatred towards that part of you that is wounded. Because we're all wounded. We all got fucking issues. And if we don't face our own issues, then how can we do anything? We'll just spend our entire life fighting ourselves. And who wants to do that? You're never going to be content. You're never going to be happy. You're not going to be what you want. You're not going to be the expression of the universe. So, I guess, close your eyes and try to imagine situations in your life where that might have happened when you were younger, and whether it was through sports or school or arts or anything. We all have those moments, and if we can know what that kid feels like inside, and then objectively love that, give that kid the love it needs, then we'll heal ourselves and be whole, and then we can move forward.